Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. We've heard from many today about the power of art and the impact culture can have on lives. From Shakespeare to the Smiths, from Hockney to Hitchcock, the UK has a proud cultural heritage that has touched all corners of the globe and continues to inspire millions. I'm proud my constituency of Wimbledon has played its part, from filming for the first Carry On film at Merton Park Studios, to hosting the world premiere of Lionel Bart's Oliver, from the University of Arts, London, to the countless creative businesses that call Wimbledon home, not to mention 3 theatres and 2 cinemas. But it's clear there are many challenges facing the industry. The growth in generative AI and streaming platforms is changing and threatening many. Meanwhile, the pandemic and cost of living crisis has left many creative businesses facing huge financial pressures. This debate is therefore welcomed and could not come at a more important time. Before I proceed further, I must declare my interest in the industry. I'm the owner of a small cabaret bar in Covent Garden and chair of the APPG for the nighttime economy. As such, I'm greatly concerned about what's happening at a grassroots level. Somewhat more embarrassingly, I must also confess that I am myself a failed creative. Being in my youth the lead singer of the obscure new wave outfit, the Gotham City Swing Band. Although my motley crew and I made little impression on the music scene, we still have a small place in history. We were the final band to play the Roxy, the infamous birthplace of British punk, before it closed its doors for the final time that night. Well, if anticipated by joke, I will leave Madam Deputy Speaker to decide whether it was my performance that ended it all. This brings me to my first issue that I'd like to highlight today, the crisis facing grassroots music venues. The Roxy played a crucial role in shaping British musical history. It provided a shared space for creatives, leading to the formation of bands and genres to still love today. The Roxy was critical to the development of punk and so much that followed in its wake. Grassroots music venues today fulfil this purpose and help keep Britain at the forefront of music. Furthermore, in the age of streaming, where artists struggle to make a living from recordings, live performances are more crucial than ever in providing the essential income that fledgling musicians need. Grassroots venues are the backbone of the industry and provide millions of people access to affordable live music. Without them acting as a pipeline for the music industry, there is no industry. They are, however, disappearing at an alarming rate. The Music Venue Trust estimates over 1/3 of grassroots venues have closed over the past 20 years. And soaring rents, rising utility bills, and the cost of living crisis are putting the remaining ones at risk. In 2023 alone, 125 of them closed or stopped hosting live music. That's 1 in 6 of grassroots venues closing that year. Club music venues are also at risk. Britain's leading role in electronic and dance music is well documented, and nightclubs like Fabric and Ministry of Sound are more than just places to dance. They are cultural institutions. However, due to increasing economic pressure, 10 clubs every month are closing. This is clearly not sustainable. How can we expect to produce the next generation of David Bowie, Norman Cook or Amy Winehouse if we have nowhere for them to play? And if Britain wants to retain its position in the vanguard of popular culture, these closures must end. It's disappointing, therefore, that the government's recent decisions have only made the situation worse. The government's first budget brought the industry even closer to the brink. The Chancellor's decision in October to reduce business rates, really from 75% to 40%, will put 350 grassroots music venues at immediate risk, with the potential loss of 12,000 jobs, as it means more than doubling their current business rates. The government must urgently rethink this. If they are serious about supporting our music industry, they must quickly take steps to ensure our music venues can survive, including recognising them as cultural, heritage and community assets, in the same way as other cultural spaces, such as theatres and galleries, are protected. It's not just music venues that are feeling the pinch. Local museums and galleries provide millions of people access to inspiration and history on their doorstep. They provide a sense of place and community in an age of increasing division and isolation. We are lucky in Wimbledon. Merton's art space, based in Wimbledon Library, provides a vital venue for exhibitions and community performances. whilst the Wimbledon Museum, Wimbledon Windmill provide residents and visitors alike with an important perspective on the past. The Polka Theatre produces award-winning children's productions which inspire and entertain children from across South London and beyond, whilst the new Wimbledon Theatre is the 6th largest theatre in London and home to the wonderful Studio Theatre. But in many places, such venues have long gone or at risk. The Museums Association, for example, says the civic museum sector is facing an existential crisis as local authorities are under increasing pressure on their budgets. And with the cost of living crisis, many venues cannot rely on community donations to keep them going. The government must therefore take steps to provide local authorities with the funding they need to help keep these institutions going. Without them, our communities will suffer. It's not just the decline of venues that is denying people access to the arts. Over the previous decade, the Conservative cut access to the arts in schools, with consistent deprioritisation of creative arts in the curriculum and budget cuts. Access to arts education is not a luxury and should be viewed as a right. Every child, regardless of background, deserves the chance to explore their creative potential. However, currently this is simply not the case. There are fewer specialist teachers than ever before. Since 2010, the number of creative arts teachers in the UK has fallen by 14%, and fewer students are studying arts or the expressive arts to later stages of their education. In 2010, 40% of all GCSE entries were in such subjects. By 2023, this figure had halved. This is not due to a lack of demand. You just have to be around children and young people to see their craving creativity, but due to years of the previous government not taking the task of creating the next generation of creatives seriously. This loss in teachers and decline in students not only deprives individuals of enriched experiences, but depletes the talent pipeline for the future. Studies have repeatedly proved the positive impact arts education can have on young people, boosting mental health, enhancing memory, and increasing cultural awareness. Arts education is an investment worth making. Furthermore, this lack of provision in schools is making creative education, and therefore many careers in the arts, increasingly the preserve of the wealthy, depriving our culture of different views, voices and perspectives. Whilst I appreciate the government have pledged to include arts and creative subjects provision in the curriculum review, they must take further steps. School budgets are tighter than ever, and extra funding must be given to ensure they can provide a full, well-rounded educational offering. We cannot afford to view the creative arts as a luxury. They are central to our economy, our history and our cultural identity. Creative industries contribute £125 billion to the UK economy and entertain, engage and employ millions of people across the country and the world. It is clear if we want to maintain our place as a global cultural leader, we must invest in the future. This government must act to support our musicians, artists and actors of the future. Without intervention, what was once a source of immense national pride will be just another footnote in an avoidable tale of national decline. Thank you.
Yeah.